piano needs tuning, Jim. Good morning. Welcome to Viewpoint, your program of personality, politicians, and perspectives, and also he of good ear. Well, serious note before we get started here with Angie. It's kind of a sad day in the entertainment world this week. We lost two, I would say, premier of entertainers of our time. Tim Conway, a man who can make you walk through the door and make you laugh.
Yes.
And Kay Sarah, the little girl,
yes.
Doris Kappelhoff.
Was that her name?
That was her name, Doris Kappelhoff. And
day is sure shorter.
So, so anyway, two real significant entertainers. So we bow our heads in prayer just briefly for Doris Kappelhoff Day and Mr. Tim Conway, who was only 85. And I think that's pretty young when I think about it.
You know, my maiden name wasn't quite in the category of Kappelhoff, but it was Nesseth. So my name was Judith Nesseth. So that's why that's the only reason I married Buzz. Was to get out of it. And then I ended up being Judy Busby. And that sounds like some clown or something.
Oh, we're not going to go there. We're going to just give kudos to Kenneth Nessus for marrying Elaine.
Yes.
And bringing you about. So let's get serious.
And he who told me that it's okay that I wasn't very bright.
Yeah. Open your mouth and prove it.
Yeah.
I think that's a terrible thing for a daddy to have said to his daughter, but that was Kenneth Nessus.
That was K.O. He just said, by golly, he called him the way he saw him. You got to give him credit for that.
Oh, yeah, I miss him today even, I'll tell you that. All right, let's get serious. We have a really neat little guest this morning.
Yes.
Somebody we've had in the studio before, and we're happy to bring her back. And she just does a great job for her employer, and so let's just
really
blow
does.
the whistle for her.
Yes, she's a dandy. And
well, I didn't say that.
Besides that, she's a nice person. And
boy, she's a dandy.
This is not her first crack at this business of the market, and I think everybody knows about the market that we have the month of May in the grounds of the Logan County Fair. And I see the big sign on the side of the building, and last week there were 7 million people that went through there. They counted.
I think there were 8 million.
8 million.
Actually.
I know
people look forward.
The traffic was heavy. I noted that.
Yeah.
That's
hot
a good
dog.
Thing. Yeah. Go right ahead with your introduction.
Hot dog. Well, it's here, the market at the fairgrounds. It's from the 11th of May, which we've already celebrated, and it'll be through the 28th, and it's 8
of September.
To noon. Of February?
No, of September. No. May 11th through September 28th.
Yes.
Maybe Kenneth was right.
You know, sometimes this business of not hearing things quite right can be quite embarrassing. Do you know that?
Yes, I've experienced it.
Oh, okay. Both of us know it then. Well,
once or twice, anyway.
We call that common knowledge.
When you get to be 95, you've had that happen a lot, so go right ahead.
Well, anyway, Angie.
This girl's name was Churchill before we brought her aboard.
Yes, it was. That's when I first knew her. She was Churchill and a little kid.
I always called her Churchy.
Uh-huh.
But she's one of our alums, by the way, and a doggone good employee.
Oh, listen, I believe that.
I used to tell her mother that all the time.
Yeah, we go way back.
Yeah.
Mr. Gossett and I. Yes, we do.
And that's great. What annual is this? How many of these have you had now?
Started in 2016. So this is the fourth season.
You know, it's really grown exponentially, hasn't it?
Absolutely. Our vendors have grown. The number of people coming every week has grown. Our programming has grown.
You have more local, immediately local vendors here than before. Am I correct in that, Angie?
Yeah, we have some that are a little bit closer than we used to, but they're all Illinois, though. So from the very beginning, it was important to us that it was a producer-only farmers market.
So if you're looking for a pineapple, it's not the place to go?
Probably not going to find a pineapple, no. If we do, we're going to have some suspicions. Because the whole purpose of producer-only means that we're going out, and I shouldn't say me. So our market is coordinated by Chelsea Campbell. And Lynn Metz at the hospital oversees it, so I want to give them some credit where credit is due. But
Lynn used to be my boss at the hospital.
that's right. That's
Yes,
right.
she was.
Yeah, so she does a variety of things, and overseeing the market is one of them. But Chelsea Campbell's our coordinator, and as a producer-only market, that means that we make sure that the people who are selling their goods, their produce, are the ones growing them or making them themselves. And so that means Chelsea's out on the road and, checking out those farms and making sure that if they say that they're growing tomatoes, and there's, do they really have those tomatoes planted, and do they have enough to justify that the number of tomatoes they're selling are obviously coming from their farm? Because, typically, I think more, I could be wrong, but my perception is that more farmers markets than not are not producer only, and that means that they can go get their produce from wherever and just resell it.
Piggly Wiggly get
Sure.
from IGA.
It's been done. I mean, it's been done.
May I interject just a question here, Linda? We're talking about a market, farmer's market.
Mm-hmm.
And there may be some listeners out there, one of our two listeners, that doesn't know exactly about which we were talking.
Mm-hmm.
So let's explain exactly what a farmer's market is, and let's set the table
Okay.
on that, because I know one of our favorite listeners up in across Wisconsin, she wouldn't know what the heck Logan County Farmer Market is, so we're going to tell Lois Harvey right now.
All right. Sounds good. So, again, we started in 2016. The reason for doing it is because we're really trying to address obesity in Logan County, and so we want to increase people's consumption of fruits and vegetables and local produce, and along the way also support the local agriculture economy and local farmers. So we have a variety of vendors that offer lots of produce and also some value-added items. It's at the Logan County Fairgrounds. It's 8 to noon every Saturday from May 11th. Like we said, we just launched it last weekend through September 28th. So it's indoor, rain or shine, you can go, which is also a great thing.
Yes.
We're also super vendor-friendly, because what that means to them is that they can just leave their table. Well, there are tables. We provide them tables, and they can leave their stuff there. They're not schlepping tents, and all they have to
Yeah.
worry about is their product. And then we have a variety of vendors, so we have everything you can get from flowers to baked goods, of course, amazing produce, fruits and vegetables, honey, eggs, meat of all kinds. We have a prepared food vendor, which is Flossie and Delzina's. So Heather Cosby comes every Saturday, and we have a cafe area in the second building of the expo that allows for people to go get their breakfast that morning, sit down with some friends. We added more tables this year to that area, because we kind of underestimated how many people would use it as their Saturday morning
Coffee
get together, coffee break, breakfast, breakfast with friends. So they come and have some Flossie and Delzina's for breakfast, or maybe grab a smoothie. We have a smoothie vendor as well, and they go into the cafe area, eat their breakfast, and then go fill up their bags with all the goodies of the market. And then, of course, all kinds of programming, too.
Now, let's start with all kinds of programming.
Okay.
Okay, because I was going to ask you a different question, but I'll make a note to myself so I don't forget.
Write that down.
So, tell us about the programming.
Okay, well, we have programming for children of all ages, which was expanded this this year. So we have what's called Little Sprouts at the market, and that happens every half hour. We have a story time that features someone reading to kids, and it's for 1 to 4 year olds. So that happens in the second building of the expo. So that's exciting that people can bring their little ones and do that. Then we still have Pop Club, which continues. That's the Power of Produce Club. The Pop Club is for kids 5 to 12. And I should say, free to get in, free parking, all this programming I'm talking about is free as well for kids. So they can be part of the Pop Club and learn about, there's a variety of activities that happen every week. If you're a member of the Pop Club, you come in, you sign in that you're there, you do the activity, which could be artistic, it could be going around and talking to the farmers, it could be anything, it could be a taste test, but if you do that activity, you get $2 in tokens to spend at the market on produce. So we're trying to educate the kids about food and the food system and try new things, and then encourage them to eat and buy and support local vendors by purchasing the produce. And then we're doing teen cooking series this year, which is new.
We're doing what now?
A teen cooking series.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. So
Which
this
reminds me also, excuse me, please. You've uncovered some domestics who do their own cooking. Very nice. I'm thinking of Sue Ellen Gillen. She's a very good cook, and she has a little booth there in the corner. And
Need Bread.
And you've uncovered some Sue Ellens in the community by virtue of having the display places available.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, so Need Bread is one baker, and then we also have Samantha Nadosky, who so
she does an excellent job, by the way.
Yeah.
I want to give her a little tip.
Absolutely. So Samantha is a little bit more toward the sweet treat side of things, and then
People don't mind that,
they don't. And we talk about go slow and woe foods with the schools and the community about making healthy choices of what you eat, but there are no foods, and so it's okay to have those every once in a while. And so the market's a great place to pick them up.
We're a member of a sponsors club here, and we have to take some time every morning when we have our guest up here to pay obeisance to our sponsors in appreciation for them being a sponsor. So go right ahead, Mr. Reich. Good morning again. Welcome back to Viewpoint, your program of personalities, politicians, and perspectives. We have a great perspective today. We have a great personality. I was going to say Churchill.
Nope, Angie Stoltzenburg.
I forgot to.
You be living in the past.
Yeah,
boy.
it was a Churchill.
I forgot that Linda got married Mrs. Stoltzenburg. So, anyway, she represents Abraham Lincoln Memorial Hospital. A couple of years ago, they undertook a health fair and a health benefit program. It's called the Abraham Lincoln Memorial Hospital Market.
Yep. Wherein
we make available fair, newly produced goods that come straight out of the field. Some come straight from the kitchens, and it's a great program. It's very successful, judging by the number of cars and the number of people that are in there. When I just go in there and walk through and maybe buy this or that and then go home. But it's successful.
Now, really, it's kind of a twofer. Bill says he goes and walks through. Well, not only can you buy good, healthy, locally grown food, but also you're going to walk.
Well,
and
sure.
you're going to take a pretty good size walk.
And we have a program. So we were talking about programming before. We have a program called Moving at the Market.
Okay.
And there's actually a track at the fairgrounds, not the track, but there's a path around the track at the fairgrounds that's about a little over half a mile long. And so we have a program called Moving at the Market. If you sign up for that and you do a certain number of laps before a certain date, then you get $5 in free tokens to spend at the market. And then the second half of the market season, we do the same thing. And so you have the ability to earn, I think, a total of 15 dollars of free tokens to spend at the market just by doing laps when you get to the market.
Well, let's expand on this token business.
Yeah.
I understand that you do certainly have tokens for lots of different things, so they'd count up.
Yes, absolutely. And so, we did the token system because you want people like me who never have cash to be able to buy whatever they want when they get there. And while some vendors will accept debit and credit cards, some of them don't.
Oh.
So what you can do is go to the market booth and swipe, buy tokens, and all the vendors will accept the tokens. So we actually have a few different kinds of tokens. We have tokens for that, for people who need to get their hands on some type of currency because they don't have any cash on them. We have the tokens that we give to the Pop Club participants that I talked about before. The kids that have those, they get 2 tokens, but they look a little bit different because they can only spend them on produce. And then we also have tokens that are available for people who are using the SNAP program, Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, so AKA food stamps. So if you have a link card, then we have a program where if you swipe $10 to get $10 in market tokens with your link card, we match that. So we have another set of tokens we use for that, so we can do all of our accounting.
You mentioned another term here, SNAP.
Yeah.
Do you want to elaborate on that a tad, too?
Well, SNAP is the state supplemental nutrition assistance program. So folks who qualify for SNAP benefits to help pay for their groceries every year, every month. So that's just, and then the way it used to be food stamps is what they called it, but now they use the link card. It's like a little debit card.
Which just kind of way, it just sounds better.
What's that?
Food assistance. People don't like to be recipients
when you need that, you need that safety net sometimes to get through a rough patch. You want to.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, nothing. Nobody got anywhere without help from somebody.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Amen.
And
we should all make a note of that.
Yes. Yep. And we could all be there at any given point. So there's. That SNAP program is really exciting for us. SNAP Match program is exciting because we've increased that so much from when we started the participation. So we have folks come in, we swipe their link card, and if they swipe at least $10 to get $10 in market tokens, then we match it. It's funded by the ALMH Foundation. We match it with another $10. So then they actually have $20 to spend at the market. And that's just our way to try to help their link dollars go further.
Sure.
And, get their hands on some really high quality fruits and vegetables and the other things we have at the market.
And it's fresh because it just came out of the ground.
Exactly. It hasn't even traveled 2,500 miles to get to you.
That's right.
Which I want to touch just briefly. In the early going on our program this morning, you mentioned something I never even thought about, verifying the validity of your vendors. I don't think it occurred to anybody who walks through those doors out there that somebody might be taking some from your garden and selling it over my produce.
Or they go to, honestly, there's auctions, there's produce auctions down in southern Illinois. You can go to an auction, and it's not that that's bad produce, it's good produce. It's,
but you're
grown.
Emphasizing local.
But we're emphasizing local. We're emphasizing that when you're talking to the person who grew it when you buy it. I think we all assume that you go to a farmer's market, it's this quaint, wonderful experience, and you're going to pick out some great tomatoes, and it's going to be amazing. The person you're talking to grew it, and I don't think that's typically the case. You really have to look for that producer-only designation. I didn't even know that was a thing until we started looking at the market.
Wouldn't occur to me at all.
I'm sure most of us wouldn't have known that.
And it's important to the vendors, the people who are truly making a living, family farms who are truly making a living on their farms. They can't compete with people who are just going to go show up at a produce auction price-wise. And so it's important to them when you have a farmer's market, you have the integrity of the market intact, and that you truly have producer-only people who are selling it are also the ones growing it.
You mentioned a little minute ago about from when we started, and I wonder if when you look back 4 years, you don't think, wow, I had no idea that all these different programs within a program would appear.
It has exceeded our expectations, that's for sure. I mean, last year we had almost 20,000 people through the door.
That's a bunch.
In last season.
Really?
That's almost 1,000 people every week that are coming.
See, isn't that the berries?
You know.
Would you have dreamt?
Well, you know, we knew it would be fabulous. we knew
Of course
Well,
we
it
do.
sure was a winner.
We knew that it was going to look amazing. We knew by being producer only, we were going to have high quality, produce, and we knew we were going to be really particular about our vendors and making sure we have really great vendors. But I think there's just a lot of things that have come from it that we didn't expect, a lot of unintended consequences, the sense of community that happens every Saturday, the ability to do outreach. You know, we have our Know Your Number screenings we haven't even talked about that, another thing for programming. We have free screenings that we used to do once a month. We're now doing twice a month. So you can get your BMI, your blood pressure, your lipid profile, your blood sugar, all for free. The outreach that's allowed us to do for people to have a better understanding of their health and know their numbers. And we've had stories of people kind of catching things because of those free screenings that they otherwise wouldn't have been able to know.
They were totally unaware that this, whatever problem existed, and suddenly,
And they follow up with their physician and get it under control, whether it's blood pressure or cholesterol.
Well, your people that you work with must be dandies with very fertile imaginations because...
Well, that's pretty obvious. What do you do, Linda? How many at the hospital are involved just with this program? I mean, it seems to me like it's pretty widespread within the hospital staff itself, because you must sit around in rooms and brainstorm these ideas, and that's what happens. Somebody drops an idea, and then first thing you know, well, let's try that.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely, there's a lot of hands on deck there. Now, first of all, of course, it's funded by the foundation. So you have the foundation staff at the table, but also, it's through the collaborative, and we also have, like I said, we have a market coordinator now. We have some folks that work a little, part-time to fill in. We've got our plan operations staff that help us so much. I mean, the backdrops that are there were built by hospital staff. We have lab staff that come.
all those tables that have to be set up.
Yep.
Those dear souls do that, I'm sure.
Well, Chelsea does a lot of that, actually. She does a lot, and we have volunteers, like a crazy amount of volunteers, amazing volunteers.
And that's what makes that place work. We are except. I'm going to give a little commercial here. May I have some time for a little commercial?
If it gets us some more volunteers, you can have all the time you want, because we'll take some more, too.
We are exceptionally lucky here in Lincoln-Logan County to have the hospital that we enjoy. And a major part of that reason, not only professional staff that know what the heck's going on and how to implement things, but, Judith Kay to my right here has been a volunteer for 1,000 years. Yeah, well, not quite that long. Sorry about that.
It's coming up, though.
But seriously, that hospital is made by volunteers who are very regular and very attentive in their duties. Mm-hmm. And without the volunteer, we couldn't have this market.
Yeah, we absolutely couldn't.
It's too big a scope.
Too big.
Yeah,
one of the things, we've been another thing we were able to add this year, which is brand new, is Taste of the Market. So every other week we're going to have a table where we have products from the vendors that we've made into a recipe or just have received samples that they are selling right then and there that day, and you can come over and just taste that stuff for free. Just taste all that and try it or learn a recipe and then go buy those ingredients right there at the market. But that's 100% done by the vendors, by the volunteers. I'm sorry, that's run by volunteers, and everything from helping the vendors set up to taking the trash out at the end of the market day is all, it's volunteers.
Well, if you walk around that building or those buildings with your eyes open, you suddenly realize, boy, this thing is a big thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure. It's an event for 800 to 1,000 people every single Saturday, and we have greeters. We have people who are reading the stories to the kids. We have people doing the pop club activity with the kids. There's no shortage of a need for volunteers and they make it happen.
This volunteerism is popular with people. Mm-hmm. They enjoy it, and you can get pretty involved.
I'm glad you didn't get that vaccination
Which one was that?
to prevent volunteerism.
Oh,
This girl has been, ever since I've known her, has been a volunteer of some sort and something going on in the community.
Yeah, well, that's how
And
communities
her
work.
daughters,
Yes.
her daughters are the same.
and that kind of thing is the thing that makes you appreciate living and raising your family in a community this size. Is because there's so much to offer, and you know these people. You're not just in a sea of strangers all the time. I tell you, Logan County's all right.
It really is.
Yeah.
Could they say
Yeah,
that again?
We have a lot going on for, our size, and it has so much to do across the whole community.
Because
not just
people jump in and help.
Because people jump in, absolutely.
It's
That's
just
how you get things done.
It's just fun. So who designed your cute little brochure that came to everybody's door, alerting us to the fact that the market is back?
Well, we have some fabulous graphic designers that we work with through
Aha.
the hospital, yeah, so.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, it got
sums
your
it all up.
attention.
I think so. I think because the opening was pretty amazing.
Yeah, good.
And one thing so if you were there last week, you saw a taste of the market and know your numbers. This week, when you come, we've got a couple vendors that weren't there last week.
Okay.
That are going to be here this week, and that includes Ma'am's Salves and Sundries. Now, she was there from the beginning. She's been with us since 2016, but she sells soaps and some other things.
Now that all has to be homemade too, doesn't it?
Yeah, she makes it all herself. Yeah.
Bless her heart.
And then we have a brand new vendor this week who will be there, JoJo's Salad Dressings. And so I have not had the pleasure of tasting it, but I know that people, when they were there setting up a couple weeks ago, they did. And I have heard nothing but good things, so I'm excited to get my hands on that. And the other thing this week is our third. So the second and fourth Saturday of every month is going to be the free Know Your Numbers health screenings. And so last week was a second Saturday, so that we had the Know Your Numbers. Now this Saturday is the third Sunday of the month, and we are doing our triple match for the SNAP program. So we talked about that before, about how we typically will always match up to $10 every week. But on the third Saturday of every month, we actually triple match it. So if you swipe your link card for $10, the market, funded by the Hospital Foundation, will give you $30 in a match.
That's quite a bump.
So that's $40 to spend at the market.
That's a lot.
That's a good bump.
You can walk out there with a lot of stuff for $40.
You can.
You cover the waterfront with your offerings at the market.
Yeah.
Everything from soap to meat.
Yeah, absolutely. High quality, great meat and eggs and breads and baked goods, and honey and flowers.
Heimelagen bread too, I bet, huh? Homemade.
Is that a Michigan? I don't know what
No,
that
that's
word
Norwegian.
is. Oh, Norwegian. You have me stumped there.
Yes.
Okay.
Angie, the link card. Tell us about that, please.
Yep. So the link card is what people receive when they need to apply for state assistance for food supplement. So basically, what typically happens is you get a certain amount on your card, and then you get a certain amount for the month, and you need to try to use that the best you can to feed your family for the month. And what we're able to do at the market is match it. So you swipe it. If you swipe up to $10, we give you another $10. So we turned that 10 into 20. And then, like I said, on the third Saturday of every month, we'll swipe it. You swipe it for 10, and we'll give you $30.
It begs the question.
It's just amazing.
Rudely enough. I don't mean to be out of line, please, but how in the world can you afford to match to the tune of 3 times?
Well, again, this is a program of, it's funded by the ALMH Foundation. So it's because of the donors, the generous gifts that people have given to the Abraham Lincoln Memorial Hospital Foundation. This is one of our community outreach to keep people healthy. And we know food insecurity can be an issue. And we want people to have, regardless of, a couple things. We know that if you have a farmer's market in your community, the evidence shows that you're going to be a healthier community. But if you have a farmer's market in your community, but you have the barrier of not being able to afford the products, then
goodness.
that doesn't
What's
help
use?
anything.
Yeah.
So that's, just kind of a twofer. We put the farmers market together, and now we're just trying to take down those barriers and give people an opportunity, regardless of what their economic situation might be at that moment, to access the market and access all the great things that are happening. On that note, something we're doing new this year is if you have a situation where you can't get to the market, we're giving free rides to the market using the local taxi company.
Oh, wait a
So-
minute. Wait just a minute. That's
Yeah.
an important service that's available that many people have no knowledge of at all.
Yeah, it's brand new this year. So a couple years ago, we tried more of a route, just picking
Okay.
people up, and the reality was it just wasn't very successful. We had maybe one person or less a week use it, unfortunately. So we kind of took a step back from that last year, and then kind of had an epiphany during one of our creative meetings you talked about earlier. We have the ALMH Community Health Collaborative has a Safe Ride program, which is, we have lots of things going on, so have nothing to do with the market, but we have the Safe Ride program, which means if you're at a local bar in Lincoln and you're drinking and you shouldn't drive home, we don't want you to drive drunk. We want to keep the streets safe, and so we have tickets available at all the local bars where you can get that ticket and pay for a free ride home with the local cab company with that ticket. So we were sitting there again talking about how frustrating it is that there are people who want to come to the market but can't get there. I ran into a family. There was a single mom with her 2 daughters at the Wellness Expo in February. And I said something about, hey, you have to come to the market and go to the pop club. And they were like, well, we don't have a car, so we can't get there. And I just thought, oh, this is so frustrating. We need you at the market. You need to be at the market. It's not fair. So at some point, finally, the two ideas came together. Wait, if we do it for Safe Rides, why can't we use that same concept for the market? And so if you call the cab company and get the ride to the market, come to the market booth, we give the cab company the ticket to pay for it. And then when they're ready to go home, call the cab company, we give you another ticket to get the ride home. And then we know it was, we from being fiscally responsible, we know we only paid for the rides that were actually given. People were there, got to the market. But then also, it just makes it easy for those people because they can just call. And I know we had at least 2 people use it already that first weekend, and the word's just getting out because it is a brand new service.
Do you, Angie, do you sleep at night, or do you have a special chair that you just sit in and think up?
I have this cord I plug into the wall and just recharge and then
Judith K., Churchy is so enamored me and yourself, I'm sure, with her knowledge that she possesses about this program, that we sit here and we let the clock almost expire, and we haven't given anybody a chance to call in and make any comments or ask any questions. For goodness sakes. So one of you two out there that are listening, 648-5510, call in. Let's let Churchy step to the plate one more time. 648-5510. We are recipients of the thought processes of a lot of people. There's been, for instance, just getting transportation to who'd have thunk it?
Well, but you see the difference between one and t'other, like for instance me and Angie, would be that I would hear these kinds of things that, well, we won't be there because we don't have a car. Mm-hmm. And then turn that into, well, surely we can fix that.
Got to figure out something.
That's the difference between you and me.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
Where there's a will, there's a way.
I think that's remarkable. It never occurred to me at all that we would furnish transportation for people who might not have that opportunity to get there. And I'm going to tell you, it's kind of exciting as you walk around. Even a country boy like me, I didn't know we grew that here.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's not just peas and beans, is it?
Not only do they have the products, but they display them nicely out there. It's a fun experience.
Well, I'll run through if we aren't getting a...
You're okay.
Yeah, you go, girl.
I'll just tell you real
I'll throw up
quick
the
what
red
these
flag.
vendors are. So this year we've got Abe's, we have Bears Bites is brand new, which is a dog treat program.
A dog
not
treat
program?
program?
A dog treat vendor. So yeah, single ingredient dog treats. All their treats are organic, hormone free, and steroid free.
All right.
And they're gonna be coming once a
I
month.
think I'll interrupt you, Andy, for just
Okay.
a minute. Yes, go right ahead, please, caller.
Yes, I'm calling as a vendor. I'm Miss Ma'am Sabb, and I just wanted the chance to publicly thank the ALMH Foundation and testify to the community how dedicated the market has been from the beginning to serve Logan County, and the passion that they've shown and how cooperative they are to us, the vendors. As Ma'am said, I'm kind of the redheaded stepchild because I don't.
No, you are not. You've been with us from the beginning, but that's so sweet.
Thank you very much. We appreciate that. That's an endorsement. We appreciate
Yes.
that.
They are fabulous, and they really want to help everybody, vendor and consumer alike. So
Well, we appreciate that call very, very much. I look forward to seeing you out there. Wear a red handkerchief next Saturday, and I'll look for you.
Yeah.
I'm purple. I'm purple. That's my color.
Okay, then. All right. Thank you.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Sylvia.
All right. Now there's an endorsement of a participant.
Yeah, so that's Ma'am Sav, like I was saying, she's coming this Saturday, but she's been coming to the market since our very first year, so that's sweet. She called in.
Yeah.
Bless her heart.
Yep. So yeah, like I
That's
said.
one of the two callers. The other one stepped up.
Okay, we're waiting for the second person. Oh, that's funny. We also have Brooks Country Honey. They started coming last year. They're from New Berlin, Illinois. I should say, though, that Sylvia Clark, who just called in, she's obviously local. Esther Boston, she's local. She is a massage therapist who does some coconut milk handmade soaps and some oils as well. Flossie's, we already talked about Flossie's and Delzina's. We're so excited to have them back a second year. The Friedel Family Farm, they are a new vendor this year, and we're super excited to have them. And they have a farm with they have a 100 head cattle herd,
Wow.
a 1,000 tree orchard.
Oh, my.
And yeah, they're down in southern Illinois.
Well, they don't get bored, do they?
No, they do not. A big favorite of the market is Yeager Family Farms, and they're in Minonk, Illinois. Everybody knows Yeager because they have the beautiful flowers from year one, season one. People go in and, oh my gosh, this past weekend for Mother's Day, I think it's become a tradition that people just ascend upon them to get the hanging baskets for Mother's Day. With Anya is the daughter of Lowell Yeager, who, man, she makes those are her little babies that she grows, and does beautiful flower arrangements as well. But they also have meats, and I think people forget they have meats as well, and some baked goods. So they
That's
have
an
an
interesting
amazing.
thing. The first time I saw someone and they were selling fresh meats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's the
Yeah.
farmer's market. That's very interesting. And by the way, I took some home and it was pretty doggone
Oh,
good.
it's all good. There's nothing there that's not good. Need Bread. We talked about Susan Gillen, and she's from Lincoln, and she has a variety of homemade breads. And oh my gosh, she also has these amazing bars with almonds, and there's chocolate involved.
Ish,
I'm
I'd
not gonna
love that
lie.
kind of thing.
It's so good. Lawrence Family Farm, they were new last year, but they're back this year. They've really expanded, and they are now certified organic, and they have everything from tomatoes, cantaloupe, watermelon, sweet corn. This kind, you have to remember season. So when you went last Saturday and this Saturday, they've got a lot of plants that you can replant yourself. They did a lot of starts, and they're waiting to get their stuff in the ground because it's been so wet, just like every other farmer
Yes.
in Illinois. But they are there, super excited to have them, and especially with their new organic designation. The Little River Farmstead is new, and they are a dairy farm. They offer raw goat's milk, and I think she had some. I'm talking about the Woe Foods because those are on my mind, but she had some goat milk turtles this last week.
Oh,
but she
my.
also has lip balms with honey and things like that. And Main Street Legacy Products is who does that JoJo's that salad dressing.
Okay.
So, and then Ma'am's we talked about, Ma'am Salves and Sundries. Nuthatch Hill has been with us from the first season, and they have award-winning barbecue, so you can buy some frozen pulled pork. It's like the easiest dinner because you buy the
Yeah.
shredded already done, and you just heat it up, and it's amazing.
And there you are.
Their stuff is so great. So those are they're also from Lincoln. Odler Farm, they started last year. They're coming from Calhoun County, and they have an amazing selection of produce, fruits, and vegetables.
That's a mile or two away.
They had strawberries already this last year. And Jaeger, I saw on Facebook yesterday that Jaeger Farm has started to harvest their strawberries. So I'm hoping to see some more strawberries from Jaeger's this Saturday.
Do they have them in a hothouse then?
I'd have to ask Chelsea, who's seen their farms, but they do have hoop houses and stuff. I know, yeah. But Calhoun is south too, so I don't know.
Because as you said, it's a little damp out there.
Yes,
But
yes.
again, we
indeed.
have people who go out and validate that this product is coming from this particular farm and it's not coming from southern Illinois
So
somewhere.
we go out and we see that you have 2 blueberry bushes, but you're bringing in
Yeah.
enough blueberries
Kind
for
after
the whole
kind,
town.
yeah.
We know,
There's
how'd that
something wrong
happen?
there.
You know I storied to you then.
Yeah, exactly. Samantha Donosky we talked about. We have Southern
She's a good little baker, by
Oh
the
my
by.
gosh. She's got the best zucchini bread ever. But she has a lot of good things, but I'm partial to that. And my boys love her cookies. We're talking a lot of woe foods. And then Southern Smoothies. Sandy Slack is back this year with some fruit and vegetable smoothies. She's back, I think, I think she's here every month in May, but then she's going to be there every other week. The Saucier started last year. That's Jonathan Cox, and he has soups, sauces, and dressings. And he's also really involved in helping with that teen cooking series that's
Okay,
going to
yes.
start. People need to come out to the market and sign up if they have a teen interested. Free. All that's free. Teen cooking series called a Chef in Training, and then they're going to have different topics each week of the series, like the art of chicken noodle soup, and they're going to teach the kids how to make it. Sometimes they'll take the ingredients home to make it. Sometimes they'll make it and eat it right then and there. It depends on the week. Thompson Family Farm is Illinois based, and they have she has all those peppers and all those pepper preserves. I just bought something to put
good
on.
things, yeah.
Oh, on the Taste of the Market table, they had it with some cream cheese and a cracker. It was amazing, and I bought some to put on a chicken and roast the chicken. It was
Yeah.
so she'll tell you, if you're a wimp, do this one, but if you like spicy things, try this one.
Right.
That's the beauty of talking to the person who makes it.
Exactly.
And grows it. Tony Cannoli's company. So Tony was out there last year doing some cannolis that he brought back from Italy, the recipes and the how-to, and he'll be out there, I think maybe it's not till June 1st, but he'll be coming out to the market on a fairly regular basis. And then the last one I'll squeeze in is Two Hills Seed and Beef Service. So Two Hills is from Hayworth, Illinois. They are also an amazing company focusing on meat. So they have beef, pork, and chicken, and it's straight from their farm to our market. So that was a lot that I just threw out there, but that is all the vendors that we're working with right now. And again, best set of vendors. I should say, all vendors have always been amazing, but this is the biggest selection of vendors that we've ever had.
This is the banner year then.
This is.
I bet
Okay,
you'll be
folks.
able to say that too for years to come,
I kinda
because as
think
people
so.
catch on,
Yeah, I
you
kinda
betcha.
think so.
Each Saturday morning, starting at 8 o'clock, you can show up out there. And Lois Harvey, if you want to get on the train before you catch Amtrak
There
from
you
La
go.
Crosse, and we'll put you up overnight. I'll even give you a car, and you can spend a whole day out there. Angie, thank you for being with us. We appreciate
Thank you.
this. You're doing such a great job of touting what you do out there so well.
I like to talk.
Yeah.
I have really
I never
great
had
things
that
to
trouble
talk
with
about.
you when you worked for me.
Yeah, I know. I remember when I was a kid at school, and the school nurse said I was down there sick, and she said, "Angie, I know you really are sick because you're not talking."
Andy Stoltzenburg, Abraham Lincoln Memorial Hospital. The food, the marketplace is what we're going to call it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Take some time, folks, Saturday mornings. You'll enjoy it. and you might spend a half a nickel, but you're sure going to get 5 quarters worth. So thank you very much, Angie.
Thank you, and thanks for
And
all who
we'll
are
close
supporting
off
it,
with-
supporting the
with-
foundation.
We always try to close with some comment, and I'm going to use one I like to fall back on, and I think it's appropriate. Be the reason somebody smiled today. Thank you, Angie. You are the reason today.